Perfect. All right, so we're going to continue graphing cubic functions today. That's our goal, and we're going to finish this one up today. Hopefully we have some time at the end because it isn't that much. So hopefully we have some time at the end to start the assignment here in class. And just like yesterday, the graph that was fun to graph, right, where it kind of shot off on the little marble slides thing, that's what one of the assignments is completely like. So it's kind of fun to watch. So that one at least will hopefully keep you entertained for a little while. All right. So we're going to kind of refresh our memory on what we did yesterday. We've got a couple more of these. We're going to try graphing by hand. And then we'll do something else with it here. So g of x equals 2 times x plus 3 plus 4. And remember, just to refresh our memory on the instructions, we're supposed to identify what transformations are happening, and then we're supposed to graph it. And I kind of used a few shortcuts on the graphing. Okay, so first thing I would identify is the point of inflection. Right, remember that's like the vertex on a cubic. So what is the x value of the point of inflection, everybody? What do I got to switch the sign. I got to go -3, right? Because anything goes in or out of parentheses, we got to switch that sign. Okay. All right, what's the y value going to be? 4. All right, from our point of inflection or our vertex, that's where we get how it transforms or translates, right? Translates. All right, so which direction did we go in the x? Did we go to the left or did we go to the right? Left, translates left, 3. And then on the y, did we go up or down? Up, and up, 4. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and plot that point, and then we'll deal with the rest of it. Give you a minute to write that. Okay, so we're going to go left 3 and up 4. Make sure you get that plotted. Okay, what is the 2 in front going to do to it? It's going to stretch, right? If it was 1/2, what would it do? It would compress, okay? So we're going to do a vertical stretch on that one. So I would write down that is a vertical stretch. Okay, and then I'm going to pick one value. It doesn't matter what that one value is. So in this case, okay, I said yesterday 0 is kind of my favorite, right? Let's think about what's going to happen to this if I were to put a 0 into here. If I were to put a 0 into there, that would give me 3 cubed, which is 27. And then I got to multiply that by 2 and add 4 to it. Is that number on this nice little graph patch? It's like way up there, right? It would be really difficult to graph that, okay? Yesterday, 0 happened to be really close to the point of inflection. So I would probably pick a number that's on either side of your point of inflection. So in this case, I'm going to choose to pick -2, okay? Because that's just right to the right of it. So I should be able to get a point that's actually on my graph, okay? So I'm going to find g of -2. And so that's going to be 2 times -2 plus 3 cubed plus 4. Okay, so what is -2 plus 3? 1. Good. See that? Look how nice that came out, right? All right, what's 1 cubed? 1 times 2 is? I'm doing that all in one step. So 4 plus 2 is 6. So I know the point -2, 6 is on the graph. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and plot that. So out -2 and up 6. And then we learned that there's a little bit of a pattern, right? Because of that rotational symmetry, it was origin symmetry yesterday, but when we kind of put it in this context, it's rotational symmetry. I should be able to have the same relationship going down, right? Up 2 over 1. I should be able to go down 2 over 1, and that's also on the graph. Now, we know we're graphing a cubic because what that looks like is a line, right? I really should pick out another point, okay? I'm choosing to be lazy and not doing it, because that's enough for me to be able to match the right graph probably. Okay. So I am going to just make sure I draw it as a cubic, not a line, because I know that's what we're supposed to be doing. So I'm going to curve this up, and I'm going to curve this one down. Okay. Let's see what the next one looks like. So now it says your turn. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to identify the transformations, and we're going to have you plot it. Okay. There are two. There it looks like there's a tiny bit different. One thing I want to point out: technically, what's being added here at the end? 0. Okay, so your y value is 0. I'm going to give you like 2 minutes. See if you can do exactly what we just did in the last one. See how much of it you can get down. Challenge yourself to get as much of it down in 2 minutes as you can. Okay. Give you about another 30 seconds to try it on your own. Okay, so here's what I want you to do next before I start asking you guys questions about this. I want you to check with your table partner and double check your work with them, and maybe you'll be able to pick up something from them that you didn't get. Okay, if your table partner's absent, make pairs at the table if you've got an even number. If there's no table partner, do a group of 3. Okay. I should hear talking everywhere. Okay. Double check with your table partner. Here. Yeah. Yes. No, you want to choose one that's close to this one. So on either side of those X dot numbers. So you want to pick either 1 or you want to pick 4. Does that make sense? If you pick 1, it's going to make that like a -2. Or sorry, 2 or 4. 2 because it happens to be 1. easy number to work with. We like it when we can square one, right? Okay, let's take a look at it together. Okay, thank you guys for talking to one another. That made my day right there. Okay, all right. When I hear the conversation in the room, sometimes it's just too quiet. All right, point of inflection. What was the x value, everybody? 3. Good. Okay, what was your y value? Perfect. Okay, so we should be out 3 or out 3, up 0. So it's going to go there. How did it translate? Right 3. Did it go up or down? No. So sometimes it doesn't. And remember, when I do, you'll see this in the assignment because I have an Otis part of the assignment. It's going to give you a big list of things, and you're going to have to drag what the transformation is, right? So or I think it's a checkbox. It might be a checkbox, but so we would know that one just translates 3 to the right. Okay. All right. What does the 1/2 do? Is it stretch it or compress it? Compresses it. So we have a vertical compression. Okay. Now, what does the negative do? That was the new thing that got thrown in there. That's a reflection, right? So we would say reflection. And I'm not worried about the x and y. We're just going to say reflection. Okay. All right. This is where it's particularly handy to just pick another value, right? Rather than trying to figure out where that's exactly going to go with the negative 1/2. Okay. So it's you're safest by picking an x value. I would choose either 2 or 4. Which one do you guys want to do? I heard 2 first. I'm going to do 2. So g of 2 equals negative 1/2 times 2 minus 3 cubed. I'm not going to write plus 0. We don't need it. All right. Here's the nice thing about picking one on either side. What's 2 minus 3? It's negative 1. Isn't that a nice number to work with? I mean, compared to what we could be working with, if we had picked 0, it would have been a lot uglier. I'm going to move that up. If it gets too low and you can't see, just remind me that I got to slide the screen up, okay? It sometimes happens. Okay. What is negative 1 cubed? Negative 1, good. And then negative 1/2 times negative 1 is positive 1/2. So I know I have the point 2 1/2 I have to plot. So I'm going to go out 2. I'm going to erase my little marks. Out 2, up 1/2. And then we follow that pattern. We got to go down 1/2 and over 1 kind of from that point. Then we have to draw a cubic looking function, but this time it's coming down. It's going to fall. It's going to come down from the left. So it should look like it's going to be wider. It should look like that. And I'm probably overemphasizing the wideness of it there. The new colors on the new projector, that is dark purple on my screen, and it's bright blue up there. But on the left, I wrote in blue, and it looks blue. It's weird. Okay. Hopefully not so bad. Hopefully enough for you to be able to pick it off of a, off of a graph. All right. So now we're going to do some equation writing. All right. I am only going to give you ones that don't have that B thing in it, right? See the little B thing here? We're not going to mess with that. I told you that yesterday. So what I want you to do is take a minute right here, this where it says example 2. Read that to yourself. So read the instructions. Okay, so they're saying, hey, we have a general equation for the cubic. Okay, we're supposed to basically figure out what that equation of that particular function is that they gave us. Okay, so let's fill in as much as we know, and then we'll show you how to get the a. We have done this process before. We did do this with quadratics. Okay, it was like the advanced piece of quadratics. All right, so I'm going to write g of x equals, because that's what they gave me. I don't know a, and we know x is always written. Just like g of x is like the y, it's always written. Okay. I want to put in my point of inflection. Okay. So I'm going to put this point of inflection in there. What do I have to do to that 2 to put it inside the parentheses? Flip the signs. We're going to make it negative. Good. All right. The y value is the k. It goes on the outside of the parentheses. What do I change the sign or keep the sign? Keep the sign. Good. Okay. All right. So we have that. We know that part of the equation. The problem is that isn't the exact equation. I need to figure out the a to get the whole equation. The good news is they gave me some other points. Okay. So do you see how they gave me 3, 4, and 1, -2? Pick your favorite. It doesn't matter. And we're going to plug those in for the x and for the g of x, which is like y. Okay. So I'm going to take that 4 and I'm going to plug it in for the y value. Okay. I don't know a. This is 2 plus 1. And then I'm going to take the x and I'm going to plug it in for the x value. All right, we're going to go ahead and try to solve for a. So now it's arithmetic solving for a. All right, so we've got 4 equals a. What's 3 minus 2? 1. We got nice and lucky on that one. All right, what's 1 cubed? 1. Do I really need to write 1 in front of the a or next to the a? I probably don't, right? I can just leave it a. Plus 1. Okay, what are we going to do with this 1 to get it to the other side? Subtract it. So what is 4 minus 1? 3. So I figured out a. That really wasn't that tough. Okay, I just had to know what to do, right? I had to put in my HK, which we're sounding a lot better now than we did last semester. I can tell you that already. Okay, and then we have to substitute the XY in. Okay, now I have to actually go back and rewrite the equation. So I'm going to go back to this line and I'm going to put the 3 in for the a. So g of x equals 3 times x minus 2 cubed plus 1. That's what they're looking for. That's the exact equation of that line. And there will be one like that come quiz time. Okay, so you have to make sure you've practiced this a few times. There's a couple of like 2 or 3 of them on the homework. Okay, let's take a look at the next one here. All right, so there's one more. I want you to try it on your own. So I've shown it to you once. I want you to try to see if you can do it once on your own. Watch your signs, because I gave you negatives this time, right? So watch your signs. At the least, you should be able to get HK in there. Give you about another 30 seconds on your own. See if you can get all the way. Okay. One more time, I want you to check with your table partner. Okay. Go through your steps together, see if you match, see if you agree on what you got for A. Okay, go right now. Okay. Let's go through it together and check it and make sure we all have it correct. Okay. All right. What did we put in for the H value? What did we say? Positive 2, right? We have to swap the sign to go in and out of parentheses. What'd you put in for the number on the outside? Negative 2. Everybody good? Okay. When I look at this one, that would be like, if this problem was worth 1 point, if you got that much, I'd probably give you half the credit for it. So half point. Okay. All right. I would look for that as part of the answer. All right. Now we got to get that A value. So what did we pick? Did you guys want to put in -1, 1 or -3, -5? Okay. That's what I would have figured. All right. So what are we putting in for the Y value or the G of X? 1. Good. Equals A times what's going in for the X value. Good. All right, so 1 equals A. What's -1 and +2? Oh, we got 1 again. How nice. It's been a good day for ones, right? Happy Friday. All right, what's 1 cubed? 1. So A minus 2. What's A equal to? Didn't we get 3 last time? The answer will not always be 3, okay? So it just happened to be these 2 examples, all right? All right, so G of X equals 3 times X plus 2 squared minus 2 is our final answer. Okay. Oh, what did I do wrong? What should I have put? Cube. Do you see how easy that was to make that mistake? So you got to make sure you get the right number in there. Okay. All right. That was it for the lesson. Wasn't that nice? Nice and short. So what I want you to do is I did put out this morning. Let's go into and look at it really quickly together. If you need this back up there, I can shoot it back up there. But really quickly together, I did put the weekly workout there. So those of you, because I know we've got a couple people who are newer, if you look in Google Classroom, I put a couple of things. Okay. One of the assignments is a Desmos assignment. The way that the Desmos acts and links so that you get logged in there correctly, I have to give you the direct link and it just automatically takes it to Google Classroom from the Desmos thing. So there's 2 parts to the assignment. So this is one of the parts. And then the other one is linked off of your weekly assignment. So every week, remember, I give you a weekly assignments and you have everything you need. I still need to put video up because this wasn't video I recorded. So I've been recording while we do the lesson. Okay. All right. So I see a lot of people there already. So there's two parts to the homework because I couldn't get the graphing part into Otis. It wouldn't let me. Okay. It wouldn't do it right. So I put that part in Desmos, and it's the marble slide thing like we did yesterday. Okay. You just have to figure out what your shifts are. And there's a couple of them that where I stretched or compressed. So you might have to figure that part out. Okay. So it's kind of like a game to figure it out, right? That's why I like the marble slides. But then there's a different type of problem in Otis. Okay. In Otis, it covers the last two examples, and then it covers the making sure you understand just looking at the equation. Is it shift left, right, up, down, stretch, compress, reflect? Okay, so you get some practice on that. All right, you will take a quiz on this stuff next week. You should practice it like we could do some practice right now. If you don't finish it in class, practice over the weekend a little bit. So this first quiz, we can get a 3 or 4 on it coming out of the gate, right? That would feel really good, right? Wouldn't it? Rather than the way we felt at the beginning of last semester. Okay, so let's do really good on this first one. All right, so I'm gonna stop talking. I'll walk around. If you need help on something, you can choose where you start. If you want to do the Desmos one that's linked in Google Classroom, start there. Okay, that one's kind of fun. If you want to do the Otis one, you can do the Otis one. Doesn't matter. Or if you think you're going to need help with one versus the other, you pick where you start. You can look at both of them if you want and decide where you want to start. Okay? So I'm going to stop talking. You guys get to work. Okay?